Hello, and welcome to Twin Peaking, where I showed my friend Jay my personal list of worst to best episodes of Twin Peaks, and she sees if she can figure out what the show is. If you're liking the show, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and tell anyone you think might be interested. Also, please make sure to go follow my friend Jay at twitch.tv/JanuaryK. That's January K-A-Y. Without further ado, let's get into it. Hey Jay, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. We're both sick, so this will be a fun one. Or recovering from sick. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yay.
Oh boy. So as we're recording this, as the cold open, the first episode that we've had of season 1 has come out, and is nearly 3 hours long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which does make me nervous for the one we're in currently, because I don't know if you remember what episode we're on right now.
No, I don't. I don't remember what episode we're about to watch.
If I am correct, if I'm remembering correctly, and pulled up the right one, we are on season 1 again, episode 7.
Oh, episode 7. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. If I'm doing jump. If I'm looking at the list correctly, it is season 1, episode 7.
God. Okay.
I know. We're starting to make our way down this list.
We are. Yeah. Holy crap.
In terms of recording, we're past 10. We're past, we're over 1/5 of the way through.
Okay.
How are you feeling?
I feel good about it, actually. I've been itching to record. For those that don't know, we record these very much ahead of time, so it's not going to feel that much different for y'all watching. But
that said, I am taking it. We just also discussed this. You guys will see this like a month or two later, so it won't even be a blip for you guys. I am actually also taking a break off of YouTube because I'm switching out computer stuff. So it's funny that you're bringing up. Oh, you won't notice that it's like, simultaneously we are actually taking a break, but
yes.
Sorry, go ahead. We do usually record it ahead.
Yeah, we usually record it ahead, and this has been like 3 weeks since we've been able to record, maybe 2. I can't remember off the top of my head. Has it been 2 weeks? Okay.
Yeah, so we didn't record last week, but we recorded the week before, but then we also couldn't record the week before that for like a couple of weeks. So it's been a little bit sporadic recently.
Right. Yeah. But we're back into the swing of things, it seems like. So, yeah.
Yeah. On that note, at the end of our 3-hour episode, it's funny to juxtapose that to that episode that just came out, because you're like, maybe I shouldn't say this after we just spent so long recording, but I want to start doubling up and doing 2 episodes a week. And we have not successfully done that.
We haven't, unfortunately. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But it has been a minute, but very we're in some exciting, weird places right now in the show. So yeah. All right, I think that's enough waffle. Get into it.
Yes.
Am I sharing my screen? You're on?
Yes, you are.
Cool. Oh, before we start, bless you. Before we start, actually, just checking in. Have you gone and looked at the Log Lady intros for any of the episodes we've seen?
I haven't, not recently, no. Yes.
Okay.
So we'll get into it here.
Eventually, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I only remember to ask because a few episodes ago, it was like, yeah, I'll ask every time and see if you've made any progress on watching this. And we both expect the answer to be no. So
yes.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's get into it.
Okay. Oh my God, that's the end of the episode.
Yes,
that's
it is.
Fucking brutal. Oh my God.
It's gonna be doubly brutal for you.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
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 So that was season 1, episode 7, Realization Time.
Realization Time.
Yeah. So, what did you think?
I liked this episode a lot. This was a good episode. Quite enjoyed it.
Definitely the best out of what we've seen so far. Jumping to the end of what I usually ask. Like, this one seems like... Yeah, okay.
This one is you're not gonna have to edit a whole bunch because I was barely talking throughout the episode because it's just that I was very engrossed in the entire thing. So yeah.
Honestly, us not talking makes the edit harder. Like a little peek behind the curtains here, because with the new way of editing, every time we bring up the new scene, I take a snippet of that scene and put it in there, right? But if we talk during a scene, I'm like, all right, here's the snippet, here's exactly where I cut and bring it in. When we don't talk, I have to be like, all right, now I have to watch this scene, see what a good portion is without putting in the entire scene. So honestly, gonna make it harder. but yeah, it's a good episode. We're out of the weeds, in my opinion, like fully. we're in it now.
We're in it.
Yeah. So, all right, we already blew the. Oh well, do you agree with my rating part? What do you think about the title? How do you feel about that? Which is usually what I ask here.
I think it's a good title, because I think it's a realization for us as the audience. Like, I don't think any of the characters had a full realization moment, but I think us as the audience, this is very much like putting stuff together kind of deal for the audience. So I think it's a fitting title.
In another way of looking at realization, you're looking at it as oh, they realized something, right? But another way to read realization is something being realized, right? This is a lot of planning coming to fruition, right? It's starting to a bunch of stuff that's been, not that you would know, but in the works. It feels like it's starting to come to fruition. It's going to be realized, right? So in that sense, it's all these different disparate plots are starting to be realized. This is how I read the title, but I
see.
Yeah, I think your reading also makes a lot of sense because there is a lot of stuff that is oh, okay, for the audience.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So, any generalized thoughts on the episode that you want to get through before we go scene by scene, or?
No, I think we're good to go scene by scene. I think I'm ready to jump in there.
All right.
Okay. So the second that the first scene started, I was in, and it was Audrey in bed with, Coop wasn't in bed with her. He was on the bed, but Audrey was in bed, and I was like, wait a minute, this is my ship. This is my headcanon ship happening right in front of my eyes.
The second it opened, I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be a good one for you.
That's my headcanon right there. So I was very excited. And nothing happened to go through the scene. Audrey's in the bed, and Coop is I'm an FBI agent. We can't, Audrey. And he treats her very gentlemanlike and is I'm gonna treat you to 2 malts and some French fries, and we can have a talk. And I don't know, I just that makes it more headcanon in my head. that just it's more headcanon that if they slept together. Him treating her so good. And that's what Audrey needs right now, because Audrey is very much I think this episode really highlights it for me, that Audrey doesn't have a counterpart, right? Donna has James, Bobby has Shelly, Coop has Harry, Lucy has Andy. There's these pairings, right? But Audrey doesn't really have anyone. Even though there's later in season 2, like Bobby kind of comes in and tries to help Audrey in certain ways, but they're never like it never gave me like the pairing feeling that like the pairings that I mentioned. And so like Audrey does need a friend. Like she does need someone.
With the fact that you listed, like, I know you're talking about pairings, not necessarily romantic, but also in friendship ways. But like everyone you mentioned is somewhat romantic. And I love that you included Harry and Coop together in that. It's very good for me. They're boyfriends. Like, okay. They are boyfriends. Like, I don't know how else. I'm absolutely one of those people who's like, listen, you can't keep saying that every male friendship is a couple or whatever, but like they're boyfriend. Like I don't know how else to put it. Like,
they are together. Like they fight like a couple. They work together like a couple. Like that. They are a pairing. Like they are together in my head. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. At best they are poly. Like
yes.
Yeah, like at best they also have women in their lives, but like they are together. Yes. I live that reality.
So yeah, I thought it was a very nice scene because like Audrey is very much like she's very independent. Like she is very much like I'm going to try and figure out my way. And this episode very much demonstrates that for her character. Yeah. And so I don't know, just like that's why it's so sweet to see Coop treat her that way. Is like, you know, like let's like we're gonna sit down, we're gonna have a chat, and then we're gonna talk, and then like that's what she needed in that moment. She needed someone to be there for her, and that like I don't know, it was a very nice scene. So. Yeah,
it was good. Something that really stuck out to me in this entire episode was, but it started off like immediately in this scene. Is the lighting. I think there's like a huge lighting shift between season 1 and season 2, which I think is like a production thing of like, you know, season 1 was all the way finished recording before they like premiered it, and like they, you know, it was already in post-production when like the show was running, right? Like they took that extra time, while season 2 clearly wasn't. It had a lot more episodes, and the way the production worked, right? There's a lot more sound stages, et cetera, right? But like the lighting in this episode, and I think in episode 2 as well, when I went back to edit that, right? Like, it's the contrast of the shadows with where everything else is lit. Like it feels like it's a lot. It plays with more contrasting lighting, and we just saw an episode in season 2 with Caleb Deschanel directing. I think. I'd have to double check, but like I think we just saw one recently with that, and like
I see
the lighting wasn't as contrasted in season 2, and it's really standing out as we're bouncing between the two, and like it's probably like a gradual shift or something that I wouldn't have noticed going normal, but as we're bouncing back and forth like this, it's like so obvious to me.
I see. Okay.
Which I love. Again, in another life, I think I would have been I would have gone to college to be like a lighting tech or something, like for movies. I love lighting. It's big on me for video games. It's big on me for movies. Like that is like the thing I love. So yeah. It starts with this scene like from the beginning. Like it is. So just wanted to bring that up real quick.
I see. Okay. The next scene is at the police station. Andy comes in and Lucy is being very cold to him. Don't know why yet. I'm assuming they broke up previous to this episode, and that's why she's being like that. And then she gets a phone call, and we don't hear what the phone call's about, but it's from a doctor, and what I think it's the doctor confirming that she is pregnant with a child. And so that's that scene right there. It's the start of Lucy's baby arc. And then it cuts to Coop with the bird in the office with Harry and it was a doctor. I don't remember. I didn't catch
Hayward.
the doctor's name. Okay, Dr.
Doc
Hayward.
Remember, he is Donna's dad.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, and they're trying to get the the bird to talk. And the bird apparently was there during Laura's death, supposedly, as a witness. And then Hawk comes in and confirms who was at the cabin with Jacques Renault, and that was Laura, Leo, and I can't read my handwriting, but someone else was there. Renette, yes. Renette. And that's the end of that scene.
Yeah. On that note, so of the 4 people who were there, and this will come up a little bit later as well, but the name Jacques, do you recall that being brought up later?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Jacques Renault is the drug dealer guy, the guy that gets shot at the beginning of season 2, right? That's that guy.
No. No, that's Jean
Who
Renault.
am I Jean Renault.
Which
that's
is his
Jean
brother.
Brother. Oh my God, they're mixing them up in my head. Okay.
Yes. Both Renaults. Absolutely.
Both Renaults.
but yeah, that was one of the places where Jacques got brought up, where Jean is like, that's why he has a hard-on for Cooper is because it led to. But the other thing that we kind of know that Jacques has been brought up for has to do with Leland Palmer.
Right. Leland Palmer. That's right. Leland killed him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make a note of that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm mixing up the Renaults in my head.
Yes, there's actually technically. Here's the worst part. There's technically 3 of them. But the third one is so irrelevant that I'm only telling you that so that when it gets brought up way earlier, like when we eventually get there earlier, you won't confuse him with the other 2. These are the 2 important ones: Jacques and Jean.
Jacques and Jean.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. That is
Jacques
very confusing.
and Jean.
Oh my God. Jacques and Jean Renault. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe we don't say it the French way, so that way we can keep them separate.
So I can keep them separate. Yeah, because they sound the same to me. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, I did mix them up in my
Yes.
head. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I thought you might have, because they do slip, so I just really wanted to reemphasize. Not Jean Renault there, Jacques. Okay.
Yeah,
good.
okay, cool. Thank you. Because
Yes.
I definitely mixed them up in my head. I was like,
Yeah,
that guy
no.
gonna die.
I don't
I guess he does die.
Yes.
They both die, but
Yes.
oh, gosh. Okay. That
Completely
helps.
different show if Jean is there, actually.
Things of note to the scene: the bird is like the bird died at the end of the episode, but the bird was an interesting twist. Like, I wasn't expecting that, so that's kind of cool to see. Very much freaking like I bring it up because it's the first piece of media that I've seen it, but like Ace Attorney, like
Yes.
the last case in
That
Ace
was
Attorney,
my first thought too.
like I was like, wait a second, Ace Attorney, but this came out before Ace Attorney, but like it was just like, oh, bird witness, very funny.
Yep.
And then there's like the real life case of the bird being a witness to its there's the real life case of that, which also came up in my head, which is crazy.
I just saw a TikTok of there was this guy doing a TikTok where there were like these cages and you could hear a baby crying, and he's like, yeah, you always do this, and like you need to stop because people come check it out, and I get in trouble. And then like as he walks around the cage and shows, it's like the parrot doing like a perfect baby sound cry. As he goes in and knows that that's what gets it out of the cage, is because people will come and be like, why the fuck do you have a baby in a cage? And it's like, no, it's just a parrot.
That's funny.
Very good.
That's good. That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, birds in true crime cases is always very interesting to me. So I thought that was fun.
If you had I've been to your house. If you had a bigger house, if you had a special house, do you think you'd have birds? Is that a thing you're interested in?
I've always been interested in Indian ringnecks. I love those types of birds. They have really big personalities. However, I know the responsibility of a bird, and bird owners consistently say that it's like having a toddler 24/7, and I can only take my patience so far with that kind of stuff.
There's
but
a reason
I do
you
like
have
birds.
cats.
Yes, exactly. There is a reason why I have cats, and so that's exactly I would love to, but I don't know. I don't think I could handle it.
Yeah.
I like my quiet and I like my personal space. And so having a bird sounds like I would have none of that. And so there's that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, going to the next scene. It's at Shelly and Leo's house, where Bobby goes to visit Shelly, and Leo is watching Bobby from his truck off in the distance. At first, it cuts to Bobby calming down Shelly because Shelly shot Leo. What was the story? That Leo came home last night, all bloody and stuff, and so she shot Leo because she doesn't want to be a victim anymore. I'm obviously, it sounds like she missed because Leo is very much well and alive, and Shelly is worried about him coming back and killing Shelly, basically. And so Bobby says that he will take care of Leo, and then Leo hears over the radio of Lucy talking about the bird, and so Leo drives off to go take care of that. Thoughts on the episode? It's I like seeing this side of Bobby. In season 2, Bobby, and other scenes that I've seen of Bobby, he is, especially in season 2, he comes off as very incompetent and very kind of a ditzy-esque character. And so seeing Bobby in this new light of it makes sense why him and Shelly are so close, is because he takes charge and is like, Shelly, I will take care of this for you. Don't worry. Yeah. And I really like seeing that of Bobby. It's a different side of his character I haven't seen before. And so I enjoyed seeing that kind of character development from my end on Bobby.
You say you haven't seen that before, but it reminds me of that time where he comforted his mom after his dad disappeared.
Yeah, that's the only exception, though. That's the only exception.
No, 100%. That's what I was actually going to drive at, is this scene really highlights how much they waste these two actors in season 2, or at least particularly in the section we're in, because Mädchen Amick does a brilliant job there, being panicked about if you could feel the real panic of I stood up to my abuser, tried to shoot him, and he's still out there, and now I'm scared. And then of also Bobby being I need to calm her down, but I also need to be here for her and need to figure out what to do. And also being a teenage boy. And I think these are two of the strongest. Well, I say that there's a lot of strong actors in this show, and that there's a lot of less strong actors in the show. And they kind of balance each other out, but they're definitely on the strong actor side of this show. This scene and like you said, we only see one other scene really where Bobby has this attitude. Yeah. And it's this, if you could sprinkle that in just a tiny bit more, because it does remind us that the character has a lot of depth, which is cool, and recontextualized stuff. But when you have 5-6 episodes in a row where they don't have that, then you have the one scene that does. It's like, well, you could have been doing this the entire time. Are we greedy though? Is that greedy to ask for? Because it might be, because they still give it to us, and the scenes that they give it to us maybe wouldn't pay off as much if they were constantly slightly like that, you know? I don't know. But yeah, it does feel like this highlights how much they waste them in the episodes we've seen so far.
It feels a little like I feel cheated off of Bobby's character, because like I have, maybe because I'm coming from the other direction from season 2, but like I kind of threw away Bobby's character as like, oh, he's like kind of comic relief, like he's kind of like not even comic relief, like
he's douchey
kind of like
jock who's there to play off of.
Yeah, he's just a floater. Yeah, he's a floater that kind of is just there to give highlight to other characters, right? Like that's kind of how I assumed Bobby to be, and I've put him in that square. And so like that's why that scene with him and his mom and his dad coming back, like that's why that scene sticks out so much in my head, because I was like, wow, like this is a character, like a side of a character that I never realized before that exists here, and there's something good about that, right? Whereas like seeing this scene that this was him in season 1 is very like, oh, like this is a whole other side of Bobby that like I really like this. And like I feel like having the other scene that sticks out in my head is him in I think it's season 1 episode 2 of him in the jail with
Mike.
Yes, with Mike's, yes.
Yes.
And it's just like both of them are kind of like, it is still played a little, like, from what I remember of this scene, it's still played a little bit comic-y, kind of like funny, but still serious. Like it still has like, there's like that edge there. And so like you can still play off Bobby as kind of like a funny-ish character, but still have that serious moments. But I only saw that like funny play-off-ish side of Bobby. And like, I don't know, I feel a little cheated about it. I feel a little like, oh, like I like this side of Bobby. I want more of it kind of deal. So yeah. That's how I feel about that scene in particular. So
yeah, 100%. It's a great scene that makes everything else worse in context.
So yeah. And then Leo, like I've mentioned this in like the last time we watched the season 1 episode, but it's interesting to see Leo not like, you know, in a wheelchair out of his mind. Like it's just like, oh, he is like a real threat here. Like he's
still quiet.
Very much a villain.
He's still quiet though, which is a smart choice. He's not a strong. I think he's great with presence. He's not a great speaking actor, so like as long as he keeps his mouth shut, he could play whatever role. And like him being like just around with the gun and then needing to leave and like stalking through the dark, we'll get to that scene later, but like stalking through the dark later, and actually kind of intimidating a bit, actually kind of very,
he's a real
very
threat. He is a very much real threat that I got from him. So it's just I like seeing Leo in that light always kind of throws me off, because I'm like, oh, he's not in a wheelchair, so
he's not catatonic and or also a pet for a deranged fan. You see him as the villain. It's very much, it would be like watching like Dragon Ball Z or something, right? And then like you see like Yamcha or whatever getting his ass kicked because that's his role, right? As villains get stronger and stronger, and then you go back to the original Dragon Ball where he's like one of the guys who's fighting in the tournament, or you know, more accurately Piccolo, but Piccolo never really falls off power level. It's not a great analogy, but like, you know, something like that where it's like this person used to be a villain and then they get their ass kicked by the new guy and like, you know, turned into this other thing that's just on the side and there to get their ass kicked, and you're like, oh, you used to be a threat, like
okay, moving on to the next scene. It is Donna and Maddie and James listening to the tapes of Laura making for Dr. Jacoby. I never know how to freaking say his name. Jacoby, my God. And yeah, they hear Laura, and they're missing the tape from the night that she died, which is February 17th or something, 23rd, right 23rd, there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when they concoct their plan that happens later in the episode. I want to touch on this briefly, but how I felt about Bobby in the last scene is how I feel about James in this scene. Like, James in season 2 is like, dude, stop going after women in relationships and like take control of your life for once. Whereas in this, I'm like, oh, he is an active participant in trying to solve Laura's murder. Like, he is clearly like a very big mainstay in trying to figure out what happened to Laura. And so like how I was seeing James like kind of like him and Donna and Maddie take charge and be like, yeah, like we're gonna try and solve this. Like, it's just a different side of James that I never saw in season 2, because James is very one-sided and very like he's kind of just there kind of deal in season 2. Like, he doesn't play into the main plot at all, and like
that's true.
I feel differently about James from season 2 than I do of season 1, because yeah, like in season 2 he is just there. Like,
things happen just to
like
him.
Things happen to him, and it's annoying, and I don't like it, and then he leaves. And like, okay, bye, James.
Yeah, I would argue though. And I'm not sure how much of this is me having context or not, but to me, I don't think there's a fundamental difference in how he acts in this scene versus the ones previous, which is why I feel like I'm able to bring this up and kind of push back a bit. Like that, like he's still not like the most active participant in that group. It's still like primarily like Donna is the one who's like, we're gonna here's the plan, here's what we're doing, and he's like there to help almost. Yeah, so that's I agree that like he's a more fundamental part of this mystery and has stuff to do with it versus just it happening to him. I still don't think he's the most active character necessarily.
Sure, maybe. I think that does come from context of you knowing the rest of the show,
and that may be fair. Yeah,
I from what I've seen of James and his character, like season 2, he is literally just
it's
a
way
B-side
worse than
plot.
season 2. Yes, it's way worse than season 2.
He has nothing to do with anything that the other characters have to deal with, and like James is just kind of floating there. Like, he is just there to be hit on by an older woman.
He's
and then,
there
like,
because he was there in season 1.
And now to see him in season 1 and be like, oh, like him and Donna are actively trying to go to Dr. Jacoby's house or office or wherever that is. I think it's the office, and like actually like be part of something is so it's such a different side of James that like I like I said, like how I feel about Bobby in the last scene is how I feel about James. This is like, wow, like I like this. Like, yeah, maybe he is just there and Donna is the driver, but he's there in the car, right?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like, he is actively in the car with them.
Yeah, I think
whereas
that's,
in season 2,
he
is in the motorcycle. Like, he's off fucking around by himself in the motorcycle in the middle of nowhere. Whereas like he's actively in the car in this season. So it's just like I really like seeing that of James, because James was one of my favorite characters, but like he was pretty high up there when James. I loved James. Yeah, he was pretty high up there with like James in season 2. It's like, yeah, it sucks that like what happened to him happened, and it sucks that he's not really part of the plot, but I like him as a character. I like who he is as a character, and so to see him like, oh, like he's actually doing something, like really excited me with this episode. So that's how I feel about it.
I think the thing that I was more bringing up, because I think you're 100% correct. I think more what I meant is like Donna and James together equal like being a driving force and doing a thing, you know, if that makes sense. Like them paired together feels like they have a momentum narratively versus what we see in season 2, where it's kind of like I don't know what this is.
I don't know what like now that I've seen the context of what season 1 is. And like knowing what happens in season 2.
Yeah, retroactively,
like,
how are you feeling about season 2? The stuff that we've gone through. How are you feeling about a large part of it?
Okay, time to sidestep from scene by scene to talk about this.
Yeah.
But like this episode, like I am very impressed with this episode. Like I am like, wow, like I'm in it. I'm invested. I'm like, what is happening? Like there's like a bunch of like small little twists and little bits of information that get bread pieced within, and it's just like, wow, like I really like it. And then like I liked season 2, but in the context of the 2 episodes that I've seen in season 1, it's like, oh, I can see why the show is canceled. Like I can see the trajectory, and it's like it's not good. So like,
so I was gonna bring this up later as we got to near the end of the episode, but it actually fits in perfectly right here. Is that like I don't know if I'd say that season 1 feels a lot tighter from what you've experienced, because there's still a lot of like meandering and having fun or whatever, but it feels a lot more deliberate. In everything it's doing, like you know, step by step, it like everything feels like, oh, we're, whether it's having momentum or whether it's like to take a break at that momentum to like you know, have something lighter, have a good moment or whatever, like everything feels more like intentional compared to a lot of what we've seen in season 2 so far. To be fair, I think that energy does carry into season 2 for a period of time, and we're gonna get to those, but like I think that's like the big thing between the 2 seasons for me personally. Wondering if you feel that without having seen the connecting episodes.
I like if season 1 plays like this episode, right? If I'm basically like, if every episode in season 1 is like how this episode went out, I like every scene has a purpose in this episode. Every scene is meant to convey something about the quote unquote main plot, right? Which is Laura Palmer's death, right? Whereas season 2, it meanders between different plot points that like they haven't connected for me yet. Like what's it called? I can't remember his name. The chess guy, the evil
Wyndham
chess
Earl.
guy. Wyndham Earl. Like that is the overlying plot of season 2. However, it pops up here and there, right? Like it's not the focus in every scene. Whereas in this episode, like Laura is consistently at the back of the mind of like everyone involved, right? Like whether that's Bobby and Shelley with a tie-in with Leo, whether that's Donna and James and Maddie and how they went about their actions in this episode, or whether that's Coop and Harry, right? Like it's all connected to Laura. It's grounded in Laura. Like Laura is the connecting plot point. Whereas the overarching plot point in Wyndham Earl in season 2, like it's very like it just comes up. Like it comes up when it comes up, and then it disappears and goes away for a little bit, kind of deal.
It feels like it's a lot more of a standard TV show.
Yeah, like it feels like a Days of Our Lives. Like that is what season 2 feels like. It's a Days of Our Lives kind of meandering, where it's like characters talking but not really conveying information. And it meanders. Like meanders is like the only word that I can think of to describe how season 2 feels, which is like, it's fine. Like I still think that like it has its good points, but this episode, like I was engrossed the entire time. Like I mentioned at the beginning of their discussion, but like I was invested every single moment in this episode. And so if that's how the rest of season 1 goes, then I feel like I'm going to enjoy it so much more than I felt about season 2. And season 2 was still good. I still enjoyed it. It's just like now in comparison to what this episode was, I was like, wow, like this it's like, oh, I had like the cherry on top of the black Forest cake. Like, great, the cherry's delicious. Thank you for giving me the maraschino cherry. But then you give me the cake and you're like, oh, this is what this is about. Like, this is what the whole thing is. And so that's how I feel about it, is that. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I've definitely. So I'm watching this with another friend as well. In order.
You're watching it again?
Yeah. Well, so I had a friend. We took a break at a certain point that I think people will know where that break happened, and then we continued on. And so recently we got to the end of season 2.
Okay.
And there's one specific episode that I would switch around here in our list. I'd actually rate this a tiny bit higher than I think I would, just because looking at where we're at. Season 2, episode 21. Which, if you look at our list, I'm not going to say where it is, but it's soon. I would have flipped these two around, or at least bumped that up and put that lower, because I think that overall I still think, but yeah, it's good episode, has a lot of momentum, which is why I like it, but it doesn't relieve any of that momentum. It relies on the part 2. Oh, we're jumping to the end again. To what my usual review is. Fuck it, I'll put it here. Fuck it, we'll do it live. No, the reason why I do rate this where I do is that it is so reliant at like I think in terms of like how it fits in as like part of a series and part of a season, it's almost pitch perfect. Like, it's great. By as an individual episode fails because it doesn't relieve any of the tension that's building up, which is intentional because it's leaving that for the next episode, right? It's a part 1 of a part 2, but you can't. Very rarely can you get a part 1 that's going to feel fulfilling. You know, and so that's how I feel about this episode. Right now, you're kind of getting like a sugar rush of it. Like it's like if you just drank like non-caffeinated soda for a long time, and suddenly I handed you a Monster. That's what you're getting. But like for me, you know, I'm if I'm drinking Monster pretty regularly and I'm used to this, and then I'm like, you know, starting to get healthy or something, you know, like it's a little bit of a different context to that, right? Okay. If that makes sense as an analogy.
No, that makes sense. I get it. Yeah. If we're talking about food analogies, I used the cake earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Are we Monster, hungry? Yeah. It's 11:20 as we're recording this right now. Should we just eat we just real hungry? Quick? Yeah. but yeah.
Okay, let's skip to the next scene here, and that is the department store where Audrey is working retail, and she
with my ex.
With your ex. She hides in her boss's office in the closet, and
love the lighting here.
There she witnesses her coworker Jenny being approached by the boss to go be a hospitality girl to the VIPs at One-Eyed Jack's. And there Audrey tries to I guess I'll mix this in with the other department store scene because we're talking about it.
Sure.
But later on in the episode, she basically manipulates Jenny into giving her the number that the boss gave Jenny to contact One-Eyed Jack's, to later then go to that establishment to become a hospitality girl later in that episode.
What's also important here, just to make sure we catch it, is as she's snooping and getting that number, she looks through the pocketbook and finds Ronette Pulaski in that pocketbook with like 4 hearts.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I thought like I said earlier, but like this really shows like Audrey's independence. Like she is like a go-to girl, wants to find out what happened to Laura, and is doing her own investigation. Clearly does not tell Coop anything about it and does this on her own. That's her secret that she's keeping from Coop, I suppose. But yeah, I really liked Audrey in all of these scenes. I think that I do think that this plays into kind of her recklessness. Like she is independent and she is like wants to figure this out on her own. However, I can't remember where this is. I think it's in season 2. I don't even remember at this point, but like at some point Audrey gets kidnapped, and I think this is the plot
season
point.
2 episode 4 that we saw. Yeah.
Okay, that I think this is the start of how she gets kidnapped. This is probably where this all kind of starts, because she starts getting into trouble with the wrong type of people, not in Laura Palmer's sense, but in an investigative sense, that she doesn't realize the type of danger that she's putting herself in. So I think this is the start of that, from my point of view. So
sure, yeah, no. On that note, you've talked about like the length she's going to investigate this murder and stuff. What do you think her motivation is for it? / like, how do you like? What is the relationship between her and Laura? Do you think? Because we haven't seen anything about that for you, so it's one of the few points of mystery that's still around for you, I think, as far as this goes. So it's like, hey, so what do you think's going on there?
I did have a question about that, and I know you can't answer it, but like you would think that it would be Donna in this situation that does this. You know what I mean? Like, because Donna was clearly
Donna
closer
is
to
also
Laura.
doing that of like breaking into places.
She's doing it in her own way. Yeah, she's doing it in her own way, and like she has a clearly like different type of path that she's going on. But like I expected, like if we were to switch, I would think that Donna would be in this situation more than Laura. Or not Laura, Audrey.
Yes.
And so that's why I was like it's great that Audrey's doing this, but I still don't know the why. Like, why is she? What does she have from this? And I'm wondering, like, I do think I'm missing a huge piece of information here. I do think, because like her dad is Ben Horn. Ben is connected to Hank. Hank is like, now that I've seen Hank like later in this episode, like Hank is connected with Josie. Josie and Catherine have a thing going on.
We're finally seeing some of the stuff that you wanted to see. We'll get there.
I like all of it, like clearly like it's connected in that way, but how? Like there's like, yes, like Josie owns the mill and there's the fire, and then I know later on Catherine is thought to be dead, but she's not actually dead, and then her brother, and like I know all of that, but like there's the big question of like the why is this all like, yes, Ben Horn wants the freaking land on, like it's all willy-nilly to me, right? Like that's all like whatever. Like I feel like I'm missing a huge chunk of information as to like the bigger picture of things going on. Like there's something going on here that like I am still missing, and so I don't know where to quite place Audrey, because I don't necessarily know if it's a friendship angle with Laura. I don't think it comes from that angle.
It certainly doesn't feel that way. And in season 2,
it doesn't feel that way. Yeah.
In season 1, episode 2 that we've seen, she says that she wasn't that close with Laura.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm like, why is she like, what kind of information is she looking for at this point? Like, what is she trying to gain? Like, is it information that she can hold for her dad? Is it that? Like, I don't think she has a good relationship with her dad, because that's shown in season 2 in some of the earlier episodes that like she doesn't have like they fought at one point, right? Like her dad, like the scene that comes to mind is like that scene where she's dancing in like the ballroom-esque type room, and her dad kind of yells at her
in her dad's office.
Oh, it's her dad's office. Okay, yeah. And it's just like clearly they don't have a great relationship, and so like that's why I'm wondering, like, what is Audrey's motivations? Like, there's clearly a big piece of something that I'm missing, and so I like it. I like that she's doing this. It's just why is she doing this? And so I don't know what quite to think about it.
On that note, something that I don't know whether to point out, so I'm just gonna remind a couple of things.
Okay.
In season 2, episode 4, that we saw, which was the one where, you know, Audrey was kidnapped and Ben asked Coop for help, but to set him up, right? In that episode, Jean Renault comes in and talks to Ben about taking over part of, or like becoming part of One-Eyed Jacks with Ben. A little bit later, Hank comes back on that episode where we really liked when the new rendition of the Loris theme, I believe it was playing, and we're watching like the digging of the hotel, and Ben's starting to lose his mind, and Hank comes in and says, "You're out. We're kicking you out of One-Eyed Jacks as a business." So at the very least, we know that Ben is involved in the business aspect of One-Eyed Jacks.
Yes.
If that helps clear any of that part up.
Not really, because like at the end of the day, like, it seems like her and her dad don't have a good relationship, and so like, what is she trying to gain from having access to One-Eyed Jacks and like that aspect? Like, is it to have against her father? And like that kind of like doesn't work in my head because of like how she treats her dad when her dad is like going through his, you know, losing his mind phase, right? Like it doesn't quite fit. Like, it's still like, yes, that information exists, but how does it exist in the universe is it still doesn't, the puzzle piece still doesn't quite fit for me there. So that's why I'm like,
I was just re-emphasizing that part because as the deeper we get into it, the more I have to tread carefully of like, okay, I have information you don't and context that you don't, so I need to sidestep stuff while also being like, here's information I know that you do have to make sure you have all the pieces to play with, right? So I'm like, I don't know, I didn't think you'd make certain connections with the information you have, but I wanted to make sure that the possibility was there for you, if that makes sense.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I like Audrey. I'll go on to the next
there's a reason
scene.
She's like everyone's second favorite character.
I see. I see now.
I've loved this gradual like love affair you've had with her. Of like, oh, okay, started off not liking her very much and like just continued to grow. Like it's so good.
Okay, the next scene is Shelly and Hank at the diner. Hank, and then my only note of this episode is Hank being weird. That's the only note I have of this scene, because he's being a weirdo. I got like the vibe that like okay, like he's trying to get in Shelly's good graces, right? In a way that he can manipulate her, it seems. Like he's trying to like get, like, that's the vibe that I got. But it came off very creepy, like he was trying to hit on her, and I didn't like that. And so that's why I wrote that, because I was like, I don't really like that. And then he stole a lighter from the counter. And then Harry and Coop come in, and Harry tries to intimidate Hank.
So real quick on the Hank thing, before we continue to the second half of the scene. Okay. So this is episode 7, right? Of everything that would have existed if we're counting the initial pilot. We didn't see him in episode 2.
Yes.
How long do you think he's been around? Or do you think he just wasn't featured in episode 2?
I just think he wasn't featured in episode 2. I think he has... maybe in episode 3, 4, 5, maybe one of that. Maybe that's when because he's on probation, right? So maybe he comes back around that time. And this is his way of thanking Shelley for being there for Norma.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think his timing particularly matters. I think like he just wasn't featured in episode 2 because he was probably in jail, and then he just got out of jail, and now he's on probation. So
yeah.
Okay.
So that answers that question.
Okay. So the scene, the scene that I can't remember what episode it was, but it was the scene where Hank, it's the scene before Norma's mom comes into town as like the food critic, and they don't know that it's her mom, and Hank is like, honey, I'm gonna go get some flowers to spruce up the place, I'm gonna do this and this, right? Like he's like trying to be a supportive husband to Norma, right? Like, and like I told you that scene sticks out in my head because like it's a different side of Hank, of like,
fun enough, that's also season 2 episode 4. There's apparently that's just continuously popping back up for us.
And so like that scene sticks out for me because like, like it's Hank, like, trying to be supportive of his wife, right? Like he is like a villain throughout the series, but like I really like that scene because of how he treats Norma, and I feel in my heart that if he continued on that path, maybe he could have fixed his marriage with Norma, maybe, if he wasn't such an abusive asshole. Like if you remove that abusive assholeness of him, maybe they could have fixed their marriage in a different universe. And so like seeing Hank thanking Shelley and being like, thank you for your help around the diner, like it comes from like, it's interesting because it's again that same place of like, I love my wife, like thank you for helping her. And then to see Harry come in and go like intimidate him basically of like, you need to go visit your parole officer every Friday or you're going to jail. And then Hank is like, okay, thanks asshole for reminding me, like thank you. And then Hank walks away and Harry goes, do you think people can change, Coop? It's a -1 point for Harry for me, right? Because like in a different universe, like I feel like Hank could be that guy of like, because I've seen glimpses of it at this point of like that supportive husband of trying to do better for himself, trying to, like he thanks Shelley for being there for Norma for the help around the diner. Like there's glimpses of a good guy in there. It's just like he consistently turns to the life of crime, and like I feel like that's a like,
he does come off the back of thanking Shelley immediately after that, steals a lighter.
Yeah.
And like I find, but I won't harp on it too much, I find his talking, I think you have a correct instinct on that scene of him thanking Shelley, not necessarily that it's hitting on him, but like that he's not actually thanking her, he's plying her for information.
Yeah.
And that, so I don't think it's actually coming from that place necessarily.
Sure. It's just
I do see what you're saying too.
I think like for me, it's like the reason why it rubs me off the wrong way, and like how the whole scene like kind of plays out in general is because like I feel, maybe it's because I'm an optimist and I see the good in people, right? Maybe that's what it is and how I feel about this. But like it kind of rubs me the wrong way of like, oh, you're a consistently bad person, you're a bad person forever. And here's Harry to remind you that you're a bad person forever. And I did not like that. And like, yes, it is like I do see the manipulative side of Hank, especially with how he treats Norma. Like I do see that. It's just like, I don't know. I feel kind of like icky about it, like because it's very like I just did not like that dialogue choice from Harry of like, do you think people can I feel like it just sends the wrong message. Like I feel like yeah, you've put Hank in this box of like like, oh, he's gonna consistently be a bad dude, and so we're gonna intimidate him at his wife's workplace and tell him, you need to go visit your parole officer. Like, of course Hank is gonna be pissed off about that. Like, I would be pissed off about that. Like, here I am trying to work, and like, obviously we know that Hank is a bad guy. Like, we know that.
Yeah,
like,
we have information Harry doesn't. So like, why is Harry being like that? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I feel about it. Is like, why is Harry being an asshole? That's why it's a -1 point for Harry for me, because it feels, the whole scene just feels icky to me. It feels like I just don't like that, and like I feel like it could have been played better. Like, but like it just shows like kind of like the dimensions I see with Hank and why he's like. He's such an interesting character to me. Like, there's the manipulation. However, I do see the good glimpses of him, and like it's just weird. It's just a weird, like, I don't know where to place it kind of deal with Hank. And so like like the whole scene just kind of like it's kind of it's a little icky for me.
I have complex feelings about Hank. I do think that like largely those feelings and opinions and like what you're feeling is due to the strength of the actor being able to both simultaneously be kind of soft boy while also being a horrible criminal. like when he turns on that like, oh, I'm just a down on my luck guy, like he's really good at that.
He is good at it. Yes, he is good at it.
and like so like I feel like we are being we're being normed basically of like oh, he's trying his best, and it's like he's not. Like, again, this is separate from the Harry thing. I think also important to note that like pretty consistently they show Harry and the police officers and even Cooper being wrong on this kind of thing. And so like and I think that's definitely an intentional thing of like, he says, do you think this? Because I don't. And like, you know, it depends on what the show decides to say about it rather than that individual character, because like he's been wrong before, you know. Even earlier or later, one of the scenes of about the bird where it's like, oh yeah, the bird, and Coop's like, no, we're talking about the girl, like stay focused, right? So like, you know, but yeah, so I do get what you're saying though. Like it is, because that scene could have been taken out and put into like a show where it's about a criminal trying to be reformed and trying to have been rehabilitated, and everything being against him. Like we brought this up before, actually, of like the last time this happened, where it felt like, where he was like, yeah, sorry, I was missing, like people are trying to drag me back in and I'm trying to get out. And it's like in another show, this scene works because it's like, we've seen that happen. And like in the same way of like in real life and in stuff, like we see parole officers being dicks to the people that like they're supposed to help rehabilitate. And so like, it plays bad because it's like, oh, like this character we're supposed to like and root for is being the villain in another person's story. It feels like that whole scene kind of felt icky to me. Like I do know that Hank is ultimately a bad guy. I do recognize that. It's just like if I didn't know, like say that we are in Harry's shoes, right? Like he has no reason to think that Hank is still doing evil things. We as the audience know that, and that's why we root for Hank's downfall. But like, I don't know, it's just like I'm repeating myself at this point. But it just felt icky. It felt icky on Harry's part. Do you think that there was a previous relationship between Hank and Harry? You think they're exes?
Most definitely. It seems like it. Most definitely, it seems like there is. Like, there's definitely animosity. Like it was mentioned in, I think season 1, episode 2. I think it was like Harry is very much like, I know this town. I know the people in it. I know the bad things that are happening, but we can't do much to stop it. Like Harry is very much like, I want to stamp out crime in this town, and he can't. Like he's limited, but his hands are tied in one way or another. It seems like so. I do think there is a history there. It's just, don't know what it is yet. So
okay, fair enough.
To wrap up that scene, Coop says a very iconic line, which is "Give yourself a present," and I thought that was very cute.
Yeah, I brought it up, and it'll probably be stitched in here, but like that is my Twitch going live thing of like once a day, without planning or expectation, give yourself a present.
Yes.
Yeah.
The next scene is Audrey at the department store. I'll skip over it because we talked about it already.
Yes.
The next scene is Nadine and Ed. And am I seeing the beginning of Nadine's like spiral? Like, is she's watching soaps at home, and Ed tries to comfort her. Nadine lost a patent. Her patent got rejected.
Yep.
Don't know what the patent is yet, but Ed is being supportive.
Remember in season 1, episode 2, where she runs into Norma, and you were so disappointed by that scene because you're like, oh, she's always been crazy. like your whole thing was like, she's always been crazy, and you didn't feel the tension that everyone else is supposed to feel about, like, does she know about that? Because you're like, well, the first thing I saw of her was her walking in on them and being okay with it. So like, so you were let down by that scene. But
yes.
She goes on about like, do you know what I was doing while Ed was out and being sent to the hospital at 4 a.m? Working on my silent drape runners or whatever. And so like talking about like silent drape runners that she's building, and it's like cotton ball. Like, does that ring any bells for you?
Yeah, not really. I think it was because I was just so disappointed of the scene. I think I just blocked that out because I was damn.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Silent drape runners. Interesting. That's okay. Yeah, she lost a patent. And Ed is being a supportive husband. And I thought that was a cute scene.
What do you think happens there? I guess, because like there's not a ton of time left in your current theory of something happens to her physically to
that's
get
why
her
I'm wondering if this is the beginning of her spiral. I'm wondering if this is the start of it. Are you
changing that theory of like it's not physical trauma necessarily?
I think it's not physical trauma. I think it is. I do start to think that it is like maybe like a Ben Horn, like a psychological like downward spiral kind of deal.
Go back to that well.
I'm going back down to that well.
Not you, the show.
Yeah, down that well again. Okay. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it.
We need to get Lassie with all the fault lines that are falling down wells. Oh, that was bad. All right.
All right, going to the...
moving on.
Yeah, next scene is Harry visiting Pete. And Pete talks about taxidermy for a hot minute. Yeah. And then Josie, he confronts Josie, and he asks Josie, this is the start where I'm starting to see it, Mac. Is Josie being the seductress, the one trying to manipulate the situation with Harry?
I was going to ask about this entire plot line, so let's stitch it all together of this one with Catherine and with that scene. Having just edited it, you went on a very long rant about, I should say very long, but like a decent chunk-sized rant about how you're kind of disappointed because Catherine seems to consistently be punching down, and you hear that Josie is this femme fatale who got the upper hand at one point, but you need to see it. And we're starting to see some of that. So I'm you were about to bring it up, but like providing context for anyone who decides to watch this in a weird fucking order, even more so than what we're doing. If this is your first episode, providing context. So how... do you think we're there yet for you, or like what else do you need to see of this to get to that point?
It's not this scene, but it's the next, not next scene, the scene after the next scene.
The one we're going to bundle together with this one.
Yes, we'll bundle together these scenes together then. So the scene that we're talking about is with Catherine and the insurance broker.
Yeah.
And Catherine has to sign like these new papers for insurance, life insurance. And she sees that the beneficiary is Josie. And like, that is like, okay, like now I see where Josie's manipulation comes in. Now I see it. Because Josie has set the board for herself now, right?
Yeah.
Josie has the pictures of Catherine and Ben together at the hotel to get Harry on her side. Now Harry obviously recruits Coop to like help investigate this, and Coop is on board immediately because it's his boyfriend.
Right.
And then we have Catherine, who notices that, you know, Josie is the beneficiary for her life insurance and she doesn't know what to do, so she doesn't sign the papers yet. But like, you know, there's the pieces that are set for Catherine's supposed like demise, right? Like Catherine sees the writing on the wall that she is going to be murdered somehow, right? And then
we also see her like on the back foot of being like a little bit worried and panicked and going to check.
Yes,
like her secret compartments.
I was about to say, I was about to say at the end of that scene there, Catherine opens up her desk and there's like a hidden compartment on her desk, and I don't see it, but like something's missing, and Catherine realizes that something's missing there. So I'm missing that piece of information, but that really shakes up Catherine, and she's like, shit, like now I really don't know what to do. It seems like. So I do see the chess pieces, if you will, are set on Josie's side to take down Catherine. And so like now I'm glad I see it's like maybe it's because I haven't seen it yet on Josie. Like maybe that's in the other early episodes of season 1, but Josie's manipulation is more subtle than Catherine's. Like Catherine is just a straight up like, I'm evil and I enjoy being evil, and you're going to see me be enjoying being evil. Like that's Catherine. Whereas Josie is a lot more subtle. It's a lot more slick. It's very like snake-like in nature, and I like seeing that of Josie now. Like I like seeing the juxtaposition between the two characters.
It truly is girl boss versus femme fatale, which are both different versions of girl boss, sure, but like the prototypical girl boss of like, I'm here, I'm taking charge, I know what I'm doing, I'm would be a CEO, versus like the femme fatale of like, oh, the one who like is controlling the company from the background by doing and we're seeing these two archetypes square off against each other.
Exactly.
How did you feel about the Josie and Harry thing before you saw Catherine in this episode? Where were you at on that initially?
I thought that it was like a love addiction kind of deal. Like it seems like they're each other's kind of like he runs to her, she runs to him, like very like they were just kind of there together kind of deal. Okay. Like they're just sleeping together. So like it's like there is that one scene where I can't remember where it was, like they're about to make out, and then it's Josie explaining her backstory of like how she escaped what's his face?
Is it Eckhart or Jonathan?
I think it was.
It's
I think
Eckhart.
it was
okay.
Eckhart. I think it was Eckhart. And she's trying to explain that backstory to Harry, but then Harry's trying to push her more. But she's like, "Oh, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Like, I don't. Let's just have sex, like kind of deal." And then isn't that the scene where there's like the guy in the window?
Yeah,
too?
Jonathan
like,
in the window, where she's like, Tara, and he's like, okay, and then Tara said they're making out, and you're just like, whatever. Then you get the. I remember like.
About it,
You're like, okay, and then it pads up, and then the lightning went, and you were like, oh my god.
Okay, now I remember that scene. I'm like, wait a minute, it's that scene, isn't it? So
I think it might be. So that's before she even escaped, because like there's a very similar scene where she does something very similar to that when she escapes from Jonathan, who we know that she shot 3 times in the back of the head. And she's like, I don't want to talk about it. Just please protect me or whatever. And like, so like that's in place twice. And both times it actually works with her character. But if you don't know that, you're just like, oh, okay. Like she's really down on her luck when you realize like, oh, she's playing her cards. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah. So it's nice to see the context of that now. Yeah.
100%.
So.
Since we're bundling that insurance one in, good to note that like Ben took the was like, I'll gather the signatures, and they were going to do it without her, and the guy purposefully withheld the last page in order to like let her know that something was happening.
Yes.
Yeah. So like Ben's knee deep in trying to set Catherine up too.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So there's a lot of words, like the insurance broker, this is the first time I've seen him in this show.
It'll be the last time you see him too. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
I think he does a great job. I wish he was around more. I liked him.
I was about to say, that was literally like my next comment was like, there's a lot of unspoken words between Catherine and him, and they do a very good job of trying to convey that there's something more going on here. And so I really liked him, and like that's sad to hear that he doesn't show up.
Well,
so
I brought it up at the time. Like it's very reminiscent of like Thomas and Andrew in the elevator of like, oh, they're saying some stuff flat out, but they're also leaving a lot unspoken that leads to like how we see people react to information.
Yes.
And like, it's just like a great, and like, there's a lot of scenes in this episode that feel that way, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. In between those two scenes that we just discussed, there is Coop at the hotel, and they're going to go gamble. That's where they decide that they're going to go do the plan, and Ed will go with them to the casino. And that's when Harry brings up to Coop about Ben and Catherine, and Coop is a little sus of Josie. We see that a little bit of like, Coop is like, are you sure you're getting the full story, Harry? And Harry's like, no, I insist. And Coop kind of brushes like that off and goes like, that's good enough for me. But I don't think
whatever you say, bud.
I don't think Coop really believes that. Like, I do think that Coop is sus of Josie in the end, but he's doing it for Harry. So there's that scene. The notes that I have of this scene is Ed will go with them, and then I put a big question mark because I was like, why is Ed going with them?
So a few scenes ago, they mentioned that One-Eyed Jacks is across the border in Canada.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I don't know Canadian laws. Are you guys looser on like prostitution than we are?
I actually don't. It depends on the province that you're in.
Sure.
I think.
Okay.
So
it may be something dealing with that where it's like technically legal then or something like on the line, but wouldn't it be legal here? But like they bring up that like the FBI doesn't have jurisdiction, and Coop says it's a job for the Bookhouse Boys. Okay, there you go. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
You know, we've heard the name pop up a few different times. Because season 2, episode 4, which just keeps popping up with this one. Coop also has a job for the Bookhouse Boys about rescuing Audrey, and then Harry shows up, and then I think there's another time it's brought up at like I forget what episode, and it's like doesn't really matter. So
okay, good to know. Okay, the next scene is a very brief scene, and it's I put Asian man checking into hotel sees Audrey. Those are the only notes I have of that scene, because that's literally all that happens.
Well, the important bit, I think there's two important bits. One, Audrey slips a note underneath Coop's door.
Yes.
So that's an important bit for you to get from that scene. Secondarily, I think that's supposed to be Jonathan, but they recast him.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, who's this other mysterious Asian man that this is a different Asian man, so this is a different
This would be
character.
our fourth. This would be our 3.5 to 4th Asian, depending on how you're counting.
It was like, okay, another mysterious Asian man. Okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be
Cool.
Jonathan, but he's recast.
Okay.
I don't know if that's ever
Okay.
confirmed or anything, but like, that's like
It's
what people think.
assumed.
Yeah, it might be
Okay.
confirmed, and I just don't know either.
Okay. Okay, the next scene, I put a sad face on it, and that
Oh, no.
Leo killed Waldo, and his blood is on the donuts.
It's surprisingly actually sad. Like, it's like the amount of I made jokes during it, but it is actually like really well done to be sad about this bird
is.
dying. Yeah.
It is. It's like a setback for the team, and also it's a fucking bird. Why would you shoot a bird? Yeah.
There's a good shot
then
of
the-
Leo running away in the dark.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, it's just that's a shame. It's a shame that the bird had to die. But then we do hear that they recorded the bird talking.
Yep.
And the phrases that I put on my notes are, Laura, don't go there, stop it, and Leo, no. And so the bird did catch that. And so
how do you feel about that message, or like the recording, the message, all of that? Like, how'd that hit you?
I do, man, I still don't know who technically killed Laura, right? Like, I know the circumstances around her death, right? Like, there's different players at play.
Yeah.
Is it like is it Leo that kills her? Like, if it's Leo that is the one who actually did it, like the one who pulled the trigger, right? Like, I don't know how I would necessarily feel about that, because he technically doesn't get justice. He gets kidnapped and becomes we talked about this in a previous episode, but like he doesn't get his just desserts. Like, yes, he becomes, mentally incapacitated, and yes, he does like become tortured by Wyndham Earl, but like, it's not justice, right? It's not proper like karma for Laura if he is the ultimate one that pulled the trigger, right? And like, I've mentioned this in a previous episode again, but like, I do feel a certain way about the mentally disabled person, the one being tortured like continuously by the evil guy. Like, I won't flesh it out again, but I did mention that in a previous episode that we talked about. Like, I feel a certain way about that. But so like, that's why I'm like, oh, is it Leo that killed him? Because if it is Leo that killed Laura, like, I don't know if that's a satisfying end for me, right? Like, yes, the Renault brothers are responsible. I do think they are ultimately responsible for Laura's death. But as for the one who actually pulled the trigger, like, if for it to be Leo, I don't know if that's satisfying for me. I don't know if I like that, knowing the trajectory of where this goes. So I don't know.
I'm holding my hand up to retain a thought. Okay. You didn't have camera, but for everyone who just saw me raise my hand like I'm in class, suddenly reminded to tell you that we've seen Jacques Renault before another time in Missing Pieces, where Teresa Banks called Jacques Renault.
Yes.
To talk about whoever she was seeing, trying to find somebody's a client. And your current theory, as far as I'm aware, was that Teresa Banks is involved in the murder. This is the penultimate episode of season 1, and Teresa Banks is not around.
Yes.
How's that factor into it? How's that factor into the Jacques, like, knowing that like he was involved in that way? But like, what do you think's going on here?
Yeah, it's disappointing that Teresa hasn't come up yet, which makes my theory, it shakes up my theory, right? Like, Teresa is the reason her being there, but like, yeah, she hasn't shown up at all. So, like, what the frick is going on, basically?
The name
like,
hasn't even been mentioned either.
Yeah, like, she hasn't even been mentioned at all. So, like, who is ultimately responsible? Like, I do think Jacques Renault is, like, I do think he was in the room when Laura died. I do think that he was actively there. I do think that Jacques Renault is also actively the person who probably, like I don't know how, actually, oh yeah, no, I do know. I do think that Jacques Renault is the person who put her body in the bag. Like, I do think that he is like the person that is responsible for this situation, right? But like, is it because, like, is it to cover up what Leo did? Like, that's why I'm wondering, is Leo ultimately the person who pulled the trigger, right? So I'm wondering, like, I'm still missing too much. I'm still missing what is ultimately happening. Like, why? Like, where the frick is Teresa? Like, what happened to her? Oh my god, where'd she go?
I think the best thing I've ever done for this series is show you missing pieces when I did. Because it's so good. Because, like, you really have started to solve season 2. Like, it's very much like, okay, now we're enjoying this like a slightly out of sequence TV show. So, like, adding missing pieces, it started to go back to season 1 where you're just like, oh, there's a lot of huge gaping holes of information again. It's very good for me. I'm enjoying this immensely.
I'm glad. Like, is Teresa dead? Like, is she also dead? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Like, and they
do you think she was already murdered?
I'm wondering if she is dead and people don't realize she's dead. Like, that's where my mind goes. Is like,
what episode do you think that happened?
Probably near the end of season 2, or not end of season 2, end of season 1. Like, maybe she is like maybe that's like a cliffhanger kind of deal where, like, oh, they find another body and now they're like really on the move to try and find. Like, that's kind of where my mind goes, because, like, it seems like Teresa, she only has connections to, like, bad people, right? Like, Teresa's not like no one would miss her if she went missing kind of deal, right? Like, it doesn't, she seems like that type of character. And so maybe she is already dead. And, like, people don't know that she's missing yet. So that's where my mind goes, is there.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
On the voice recording, like it, I was surprised that it still managed to hit me, because, like, I think there's two ways to read that, of being like, it's kind of goofy because of the voice being done and the recording. I still got hit a little bit of, like, semi chills of when she was like, don't go there, and Leo stop, and I was just like, like, it did manage to hit me a bit. So I was more asking the emotional impact, but I'm glad you went into theory crafting. I am, legitimately.
There's something chilling about hearing someone's last words. There's a very, like, you know, you hear about death all the time, right? But, like, to hear someone's last words, it hits a little different of... like, oh, like, this is a real person, you know. Obviously she's not real, Laura's not real, but it hits different. It hits different. Like, I brought it up earlier, but there's, like, that real case of the bird being an actual witness to its owner's murder. And, like, there's, like, a specific news segment where the bird, like the news segment starts off with the bird screaming, "No, don't shoot!" Like, that is how the news segment starts of that story.
Jesus
and you're like,
Christ.
God, like Jesus Christ, like, that is how that person died, and like the bird is so traumatized, right? Like the bird keeps saying it, right? And so there's something like it. That's why these cases are so like they stick out of like birds being witnesses. Is like,
there is
you
also
actually do hear,
to it, the Mina not necessarily sounding like her very much, or like if it like it's obvious it's probably her voice and then manipulated, but like almost childlike, but like knowing that it's like through that filter, like there is something about that too, where it's just like, oh, this is worse. Like
yes, incredibly so.
That's that they every time they have Laura talk, because I think it's because they have Cheryl Lee as a different character in there who's able to speak a little bit lower, right? So every time they have her talk in the show of like the voice recordings to Jacoby, or like when she's pretending to be Laura on the phone, she talks up here and kind of breathy and dreamy. and so maybe it is supposed to just be her, but panicked. I don't know. I do find her Laura voice very funny in a lot of the scenes. But like, in that, it really did somehow still hit me, even though I'm like,
yeah, that's fair. Okay, the next scene after that is at the casino. Ed in a wig
that looks like his normal hair.
That just looks like Ed. Like, okay,
if you're gonna do a wig, why not do a wig that looks different than your normal hair?
Exactly. I don't know. And then we're introduced to the character named Blackie. And there's no sign of Jacques yet in that scene. And then it quickly cuts to Laura, Maddie, and James, and there's a moment where James looks at Maddie and she looks like Laura, and James is like, damn, she does look like Laura. Like, he doesn't say that, but like you can tell that's what he's thinking. And then it quickly cuts, like the end of the episode's actually interesting, all the cuts between the different scenes. Then it cuts to Ben Horn and the Swedes and his brother Jerry, and how
real quick,
they want to...
backing up just a second with the James thing. Just as a reminder, he was dating Laura, right? And the more important bit to what I want to remind you of that is that if it's a day in every episode, it's been just a week.
Okay, I
see.
Since
she died.
Since she died, okay.
That's, it's pretty brutal.
Yes.
It's a really, if you pause for just a second, even if Jacoby was the murderer, it's a very cruel thing that they're doing in general.
It is.
Both to James, to Donna, to Maddie, who has to pretend to be this dead girl, and to Jacoby, who may or may not be the killer. Like, it's a cruel thing.
It is. I thought it was a interesting scene. I didn't realize it was a week. I didn't realize it had only been a week.
Because this is episode 7, and so 7, like it would be like at most 9 days, right?
Yes.
If we give a couple of days post finding the body and everything happening.
Yeah. Okay, and then moving on to the next scene with Ben Horn and the Swedes and them signing the contract. His brother Jerry's trying to schmooze up the Swedes, but they want to do a signing party at One-Eyed Jack's. And then it cuts to Ben calling Josie, and Josie's like, don't worry about it, and Hank is there. And this is the first time I've seen Josie with Hank, so that's interesting.
I like the reveal of Hank being there, like the way the shot is like
that's
him
good.
facing the back, like it's just framed very well. Like it looks like evil people who are putting a plan together and it's about to go into action, like in the cool way.
I'm not sure what to like. It's like I said with Josie, it's nice to see the manipulative side of Josie now. So that was cool. Wasn't expecting Hank there, so I'm interested to see more of them working together. Then it quickly cuts again to Audrey at the casino, which we mentioned earlier. We tied it in with the earlier scene, but like Audrey trying to do her own investigation with the name Esther. And then I put Calgary Stampede mentioned. Woo! Because like Yeah, Calgary in 1987 was very like that's a degenerate time for the Calgary Stampede. So, yeah.
Speak more on that as because I'm an American and don't know shit.
Oh, okay. So the Calgary Stampede is the largest rodeo in I don't want to say North America, but it's quite large. Like it's very like people fly in like their like stuff to like compete in the Calgary Stampede kind of deal. Like it's a very big deal. Calgary Stampede in 1987 is like think Las Vegas, but it's only 10 days. And so imagine the type of degeneracy that happens.
Mardi Gras times 1,000.
Yeah. Like Mardi Gras, there's gambling, there's a lot of casinoing. There's a lot of, like it's horses, betting, lots of drinking, a lot of drugs. That type of deal. They've cleaned up their act for sure, but like the Calgary Stampede was like it's kind of known for its degeneracy kind of deal. Like it's like it has that kind of reputation. Like for example, like the Calgary Stampede, like there are bartenders that fly in just to work the Calgary Stampede because of how much money and tips you can make as a bartender for the Calgary Stampede. That's how much money flows into the Calgary Stampede every year. And so, like, if that gives you an idea of like what kind of a party it is.
Yeah, it's starting to form a picture for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of that. I was very excited when I heard that. There's a little bit of civic pride that swelled in me. of like, oh, the Stampede, you say.
It's similar to like whenever like Salt Lake gets mentioned here, like even as someone who hates it here and has a lot of issues,
there's a bit of civic pride that comes up.
Whenever something comes up and it's not about Mormons or whatever, I'm always just like, oh hey, like The Last of Us taking place or like that hospital or whatever being in Salt Lake City. I'm always just like, hell yeah. And then I'm like, wait, no, I don't even like it here. or like finding out that Thunderbolts, hey, okay, this is gonna be a while later, so it'll probably have to be at a theaters. Thunderbolts was really good. People should go see it. Like I'm surprised by how fucking good it was. It was so good. But part of it was filmed in Utah, and I was just like, fuck yeah. Then I was like, oh wait, I don't even like it here. Like I have to remember, but like there is that part of you for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that made me very excited to hear that. And then finally, it quickly cuts to the scene of Dr. Jacoby with them tricking him to leave his office with a video of Laura/Maddie.
Yeah.
They want him to leave the office so that way James and Donna can go break into his office. Meanwhile, Bobby in bushes, watching them do this. Bobby follows James and Donna to Dr. Jacoby's office, and
there's
he puts
a shot
bag of cocaine.
That implies someone was watching Bobby watch them.
Yes, which I will get to. I will get to that.
Yeah.
But Bobby puts cocaine in James's bike, and he's like, take that, James. And then Laura is left at the gazebo, where it's assumed that it's Leo watching from the bushes, because Leo has been trying to follow Bobby. And I thought that was a very well done scene of because the very first shot where it's Leo's point of view, I didn't realize it was a point of view shot the first time it comes up, because it's very brief. And then it comes up again later, and you're like, oh wait, we're watching someone watch Bobby, watching them do this kind of stuff. And so I thought that was a very cool reveal. I thought that was very cool. And yeah, I'm wondering, I hope Maddie's okay.
Did you mention Bobby putting something into?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
yes,
sorry.
I put cocaine. Cocaine.
Yes.
Cocaine into James's bike. Yes, I did mention that.
Okay, cool. I was largely paying attention, and then suddenly another question popped into my brain of something I realized I didn't cover. right as you were talking about that. So sorry about that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I thought that was all interesting scene. I thought it was very good.
Yeah. So you think that's Leo?
Yes, I think that's Leo.
Last shot ends on. Okay, that's really interesting. Yeah, no, great creepy shot there. It does make you worry about Maddie a bit.
Yeah, I am worried for Maddie.
Yeah, Jacoby figures out that it's a gazebo and not the actual address that they gave him, which is also a little bit worrying.
Yes.
There is a scene earlier that has to deal with Maddie and why it suddenly popped into my brain, where she's sneaking out of the house.
Yes.
And then it like lingers in this dark section where it reveals that, like, I don't know if it reveals because he's been there the entire time, but Leland's just sitting in the dark and then turns and looks, and it looks like he's like has very teary, crying eyes, you know, in the shot as he watches her leave. I find it very, very reminiscent to Laura Palmer sneaking out of her house in Missing Pieces. And Leland coming home. So yeah, any thoughts on that, or just grieving guy who may feel the similar feelings he felt the night that Laura disappeared?
I do think that Leland has not an idea of what's going on. Like I still think he's in the dark. However,
Literally.
I do think he's suspicious. Yeah, I do think he is suspicious of Maddie and what she's up to. And so, yeah, I thought it's not enough information. Basically, I don't have enough information to kind of go off of to what to think of that. So
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's it. That's the episode.
Yeah. So we covered a lot of it in the post thing that we do after the episode. We've covered a lot of it in the middle of the episode. So post talking about it, you still feel it's the strongest one we've seen so far?
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
Yes.
I talked about why I rate it where I do, where like I think like as part of a part one of part two, I talked about it earlier that I'd flip this around with a different one. The other one is also a part one of a part two.
Okay.
And so like I think this is the better part one just because of how it fits into the series as a whole. The momentum it's building, how everything's starting to come together in this really interesting way that is both fun and also a little bit like you get little tinges of dread throughout there of like something's coming, something's going to happen. It's not necessarily going to be good. And so like I really like that, but it doesn't give any release valves throughout it. Of like, all right, we're gonna at least solve for A. We're at least going to give a tiny little bit of closure or a tiny little bit of catharsis or something in this episode, right? Instead, it's all every episode or every scene is basically building to another thing. And so that's where I rate it where I do. Yeah. Are there any other questions? Hey, particularly relevant now, you kind of touched on it. What is Twin Peaks about? In context of your second episode of season 2 or season 1.
Man, Mac, like, where's I was like, okay. This is what I mean, but like I don't know where to place the show because there are definitely episodes that are freaking focused on like the supernatural, kind of shit. But this is pure like true crime, mystery, murder mystery magic kind of deal. I'm like, yeah. So like I don't like where is like guy with long hair or the small person with 2 legs, like where are they? Like what happened to them? So like I don't know. This Twin Peaks is a show about friendship. It's a show about friendship.
No. What? No. I just want me to. Hey, Jay. What? No, you have to expand on that. You don't get to just say it's about friendship. What talked about this entire episode had nothing to...
Okay, here's my thought process.
Okay,
right?
please.
Okay.
Please.
Harry and Coop and Audrey, Donna and James, and then Maddie in there, I guess, a little bit. Shelly and Bobby, and then Josie and Hank, like friendship.
Oh my god. You brought up a thing that I thought you were gonna bring up here earlier in the episode, but okay, sure, fine. Okay, I'm not here to judge. It's about friendship for you. That's what's interesting about watching shows in this kind of order, is they can mean different things to different people. But actually, you bringing that up brings up another question in addition to what I wanted to bring up. So I'll bring up that one first. When we watched season 1, episode 2, we had talked about so your initial theory was that, Koopa and Harry aren't going to get along initially, and then something's going to happen and they're going to be cohesive. And then when we watched season 1, episode 2, I was like, they were kind of already getting along, right? And you're like, well, not really. Do you still feel that way of like whatever's going to make them? It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like you think they have become a cohesive unit at this point.
I do think that they're two sides of the same coin, right? Like, I think Harry clearly has a very strong sense of justice. Like, he is very, he is the sheriff of the town. Like I mentioned, like with Hank, he's like, don't make you gotta make your parole, blah, 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 blah. And do you think that people can change Coop? Whereas Coop is very he's an FBI agent, but Coop is very whimsy. Like, that's the only word I can think of Coop is justice, but also the truth. Like, he is, oh my god, Mac, freaking Coop is Phoenix Wright, whereas Harry is Edgeworth. Like, that is, Edgeworth is justice, whereas
I
Phoenix
feel like
Wright
Edgeworth is
truth.
way more competent. I feel Edgeworth is way more competent than
so we're as Coop is the truth. Yes, justice, but also the truth.
Yes,
I want
in
the truth.
terms of those character arcs, I don't think it maps perfectly because Phoenix is not necessarily the most competent, even when you play him perfectly. While Coop is extremely competent, but just weird. While Harry, but I get what you mean of one's laser focused on we're gonna get the guy, and the other guy's well, let's figure out what happened. Let's figure out all the surrounding, I do see that in terms of their character art. I think that's a really good analogy. But you do, I guess I got lost. Do you think that they are good now together? Did something happen, I guess, between between episode 2 and this episode to bring them together, or do you think that they were just always going to be friends like this?
I think maybe there's a conversation. Maybe there's a conversation of maybe it's not a blowout necessarily, but maybe it's hey, I, FBI agent, am here to just assist you, Harry, and I want to find out the truth together. And then that's what gets Harry to trust Coop so much. Because immediately, in this episode, Harry's hey, Coop, this is what's happening with Josie. There is an inherent trust there already. So maybe it's just a conversation, and then that is then strengthened by what they're about to face, because clearly something big is about to happen, and I don't know what that is yet. But I do think that there is something will happen, but something has happened, and I think that something that has happened is not necessarily a blowout. It's just a bro to bro, hey, bro, you're my bro kind of deal. So,
I get you.
Yeah.
How does this factor in, knowing that this is the second to last episode of season 1? How does this factor into your theory that Laura Palmer's murder would be solved at the end of season 2 or season 1?
like, is her murder solved by the end of, like...
Because your current theory is
like,
that they solve who killed her, but there's a lot of surrounding stuff that is still unsolved.
Yeah. I'm wondering, I have no idea, like, where to place it. Because, like, right now in my head, I mentioned it earlier, like, is Leo the one who ultimately pulled the trigger, right? Like, that's a big question in my head. And, like, it's interesting, now knowing the context of that, it's interesting that, like, it's Shelley taking care of Leo later on in season 2. Like, there's no, like, doctors involved. Like, are they hiding Leo? Like, is that why Bobby is helping Shelley? Because, like, maybe he caused something to happen with Leo, and, like, maybe the police know it's Leo, but, like, that's why they're hiding. Like, is there something going on here? Like, it's interesting that it's
information that you do. Oh, sorry.
I was about to say it's like I mentioned this in a previous episode, but it really bothered me that Shelley is, like, in the house by herself taking care of, like, her husband who, like, it really bothered me that like what the frick, like, why is there no help for Shelley? Like, Bobby's barely any help. And then when Leo goes missing and like she doesn't tell the police, like, oh, like, Leo's gone, you know, like
she does.
It's immediately like
she does. That's actually what I was going to bring up, is in the very first episode we saw. The very first thing we see of Bobby and Shelley is them at the police station.
That's
and reporting about him assaulting, and they bring up very specifically, and I know that you won't remember this because it was so non-important to you at the time, but it's very important right now, is that Hank shot Leo, and Bobby saw it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they're reporting that.
I do remember that. Yes.
That's the first thing we see of them. That's A, so long ago. B, not relevant to anything you saw for, like, months at a time. And now suddenly it's relevant again. so I really wanted to give you that information real quick.
Okay. Now remembering that, now that you've told me that.
Yep.
They don't really go off and look for Leo. Like,
no,
the police
they
are like,
don't.
okay. They're like, okay, whatever. Like, thanks for telling us, but sure. And then Shelley is like, okay, I'm gonna go work at the diner now. Like, okay, like your husband is missing. Like now no one's really looking for Leo, and, like, that's why I felt bad for Leo, because I'm like, Leo fucked off, and, like, now he's missing, and no one knows where he is. But, like, now he's being tortured by this guy, and so, like, now there's a piece of information there that's missing, you know, what's happening here? And so, I don't know. Leo, like, I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You brought up something else real quick. That I thought was going to be more relevant to your closing statements here, but hasn't been. So I'd like to bring it up. Is that, like, something you felt throughout this episode is that, like, in every scene that it is still, even if it's not, like, directly at the forefront, Laura Palmer and her murder is just, like, a background driving force in every scene of this episode.
Right.
Yeah. Does that play into anything we were discussing, or was that just an insight in that moment?
I do think it does. Like, I think it's important that Laura is the central focus of every single episode. But she does take a backseat in season 2. Like, is that because they solved her murder? Like, is that it? Or is it, like, because, like, Coop is, like, leaving the town in one point in one of the episodes. He's like, okay, like, they have that whole arc of, like,
episode
I'm gonna
10
leave now. Yeah. And, like, so, like, where does that come into play? Right? And, like, why? So, like, is Laura, like, is it not really solved and they think they solved it? Is that what it is? Like, is it because of Leland? And, like, what he's about to do or what he hasn't done yet. Like I'm very confused, basically. I'm very confused about how things are playing out right now. And so I don't know what to think of it. I don't know what to...
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this is why I usually do the review afterwards, is so that way we don't have to end on you being like, oh, well, I don't know, because like, not that it's a downer of an ending for an episode, but it is like, oh, lack of energy. Well, I think a review helps with that. But we did that part, so we're gonna end on a little bit of a down on energy here of I don't know, because that covered pretty much everything I needed to get out of you, I think.
Okay. The show is about friendship. Okay, bye.
I mean, we have a sign off. Remember to always brush your teeth.
Bye.
Bye.